Starting at a young age, my Mimi wanted us to travel the world. She wanted us to see that there's a world bigger than Camden, Arkansas. On our travels, it's usually my aunt and uncle, my cousins, my family, and Mimi. That makes 12 of us. A pretty big group. Our travels all began in Memphis, Tennessee at Graceland, where we learned about the King of Rock and his life. Spring break one year was spent in Mountain Home, Arkansas, where we went in caves and got to explore. It was so cool. New York City was during Thanksgiving, and we went to the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade that we had always watched on TV. We even saw extravagant Christmas windows. Our biggest trip up to that point was in 2005, where we had to get passports and go to Costa Rica. We went to Colorado and visited a dude ranch called Smith Fork Ranch. We got to ride horses up mountains, fly fish, and stay in log cabins. Going Titanic, we went on an Alaskan cruise. We got to see glaciers from a helicopter, and we even got to dog sled. Destin was the next summer, and then our biggest trip yet, to Europe. We went to London and Paris. We traveled to train from London to Paris. We got to see the Eiffel Tower and even got to walk down the entire tower by stairs. Destin was last year's vacation, and this year was the trip to the Caribbean, where we went on a cruise to the Bahamas and Virgin Islands of St. Martin and St. Thomas. I can't wait to see where I'll travel next. Every place is so different. Every place has a story to tell. In Costa Rica, my eyes were opened to a new way of living. We visited an indigenous village where they had no plumbing, no electricity, and they even made their medicine from plants there. This was so far beyond anything that I knew of from my little 7th grade life in Camden. Climates and surroundings are so different in Costa Rica, Colorado, and Alaska than they are in my backyard. Rainforests in Costa Rica to mountains and streams in Colorado to glaciers and snow in Alaska. This world is absolutely beautiful and all so different. After one day in England, I decided that I was in the wrong country. I've lived in the wrong country all my life. I absolutely loved it there. Paris, I learned about pickpocketers, and people can be so sneaky. The West Coast was where I recently traveled right after finals this year. I went to San Francisco and Los Angeles. I went with a group from the University of Apparel Studies, that's my major, and we learned about the fashion markets and tips and tricks to become the best in the industry. Last but certainly not least was 3 weeks ago, whenever I came home from the Bahamas. In Virgin Islands, I learned that the people were so happy. They were free-spirited, and there was such an easygoing lifestyle. Mimi has always said, there is nothing like learning and traveling. You pick up so much more from different cultures than you do here. Where is my next destination? That I do not know. I do know that I have a couple ideas. My first idea would be to study abroad before graduating from college. My next idea would be to travel with a job, maybe trend forecasting or decorating. Later in my life, I dream of traveling with my husband and my children. Maybe someday I can even travel with my grandchildren as Mimi has done with us. Whatever it may be, whatever my future holds, I can't wait to see where the next takes me.